Just breathe. To all you lovely ones out there, just breathe right now. We are all going through a transition, and some of our old stuff might be coming up. That's just the way it's supposed to be, right? But we don't really want to accept it or acknowledge it. Once you do, you set yourself free. So, I'm going to read some cards today, like I always do. And I'm going to be reflecting a little bit about what's going on and what the word sovereign means. And today the word sovereign is actually up for grabs. Who is sovereign? Are we sovereign over our bodies? Are we sovereign over our lives? Are we going to be telling our grandkids and our kids and our great-grandkids that we didn't stand up for our alienable rights by not allowing us to be coerced in a direction we do not want to be coerced into? These are good questions. And as we sit here today and play that I'm doing it, but there are other meanings that are coming through as well. Sandy, you're in an interesting place, my dear. Let me just see here, what else you're writing. Yes, but again, I'll get you one, Sandy. If you share, that's good. Thank you. I just want to go a little bit into what I was starting out with, our sovereignty. How we decide, what we decide our body to, what we decide that we are willing to go with or not, right? We are being coerced in one direction, and many of you are looking at it and seeing it for what it is. It's not for health, it's for control. But let's look at this. I would like each one of you that is here right now to tell me, what do you see as, what does the word sovereign mean to you? And in the meanwhile, I'm going to take a card for humanity, and then I'm going to take a card for Sandy. Let's see. Yeah, I took those cards. Let's see here. Let's do the card, the Starseed cards, because they usually tell me a little bit more about humanity than any other card will. Let's see what humanity is having to deal with right now. We know what we deal with. Each one of us is dealing with it in our own, our own way. But let's look at this. What's the card say? I remember. Haha, this is interesting. I remember the soul plan, the fated life versus the destiny life. So if you look at closely, that little soul down there, right? It's being born. And if you look closely, you see, is it fate? Is it destiny? Are we here playing a bigger game than we think we are? What do you guys think? Are we what we see, or is there something more going on? I'm going to see if I can find remember. LMNOPQR. Okay, I remember is probably what it is then. I remember. Let's see here. I remember, there it is. Okay. There was a moment before you were born when you chose the conditions of the life you're living right now. When you plotted out these exact moments along the timeline of your life. We live in a world of free will, and therefore these moments become our destiny only through saying yes. The fated life is the one we were born into. The destiny life is one of our soul chooses. One our soul chooses. And it takes courage and faith. If you pull this card, it's because you're likely now face to face with a choice to follow the destiny life over the fated life. To trust the path your soul is calling you toward, and to remember that this moment was prearranged on your life's timeline. So each one of you, like I've said many times, each one of you has chosen to be on this timeline, in this life, living this life right now, right? You may find yourself at a crossroads, at a moment when you're being called to make a decision, to keep walking the perfectly laid out path before you, or choose the one less traveled. You may be facing a change of career, a new relationship, a difficult decision, or something else that requires courage and faith. You're being invited to remember your soul's greater plan and to surrender to it. And when you're confronted with a path that's undefined, it's normal for doubt to rear its head. In fact, this is a certain sign that you're facing your soul's greater plan. Every hero in his or her life journey comes eye to eye with doubt. The only way around it is through it. It's all part of the larger plan. So, we're talking about sovereignty. We're talking about courage. We're talking about going our path, right? And we're talking about choices. We choose and chose to be here at this time. We choose and chose to be here at this time. And so it is your duty, I would say, your duty to find out why. Why are you here? What is your purpose? And sometimes people come to me and say, Helene, I don't know. And then I said, well, what does your heart desire? What is it that your heart desires? What comes before everything else in your life? What do you keep thinking about? What do you keep feeling? Okay? And once you tune into that, some of you don't even dare tune into it, but once you do, you will find the happiness. You will find contentment. You will find bliss. So Sandy, it says abundance in the card that you get, okay? I'm getting the card abundance. I'm going to do one more for you because I was talking about a lot of things. I'm just going to tune into you right now. I'm seeing that there's a very, my guides are telling me that there's a very positive outcome for this. There might be a little hiccup, okay? There might be a little hiccup. They might test you on some level, but I'm only getting good stuff. Flowering, that's another one. That's, you know, you are blossoming into, who you are supposed to be. Now, Sandy, I was thinking about you were looking for a job. I want you to think of this, okay? Each one of you that is looking at this right now, and you might be young, but I want you to start thinking about what your passion is, because in the coming years that are coming, we're going to be going into doing what we're really good at. And I don't mean working for someone else. I don't mean working for someone else. Go to a different level. Look at your life. Is family, is that in a good place? Okay. Is your job in a good place? Well, if you're working for someone else, you're always going to be contingent on that they like you and that they're going to keep you, right? is there something that you're really good at that you might even be able to live on? So when I was fired the 5th time, I said to myself, okay, and I said to God, I had a conversation with God, and I said, okay, so what am I supposed to do? And they said, surrender and work with us. I'm like, are you going to pay my bills? And they're like, we're going to make sure that when you help other people will help you. I think it's Zig Ziglar who said that once. When you help enough people will help you. So in what way can you be service to other people? Now, if you're having a 3D job and you are happy with that right now in the moment, that's fine. But I want you to think about the bigger picture. What's the bigger picture? Why did you come to this planet? Did you come here to go to school, get a job, and die? Or did you come here to make a difference? Now, each one of us, focusing on our heart and making a difference, each one of us is going to, each one of us is going to, when we go into our hearts and find what we love to do. Yes, Susan. You love traveling, yes. This is a 3rd job to pay the bills. Oh, Sandy, what is your power? What's your superpower? You need to find your superpower. You need to start having that as one of your jobs. Whatever it is that you're good at. Whatever it is that you're good at. You need to find something that nourishes your soul, but that you also can help other people nourish their soul. You know what I mean? It's almost like if you focus on working for someone else all the time, you forget you. So I'm looking at it as sometimes we have a period of time where we're working for the big man or whatever it is we're working for, and that is fine. And not everybody's going to be working for themselves, and not everybody's going to be working with what they love to do. But everyone has a choice to start doing what they love to do and to make that what they do. So they wake up every morning. It's not, oh, I have to go to work. No, it's like, oh, I get to live my dream. I get to do what I love to do. You know, some of you are on that course. Some of you are on that course and wondering, can I? Am I strong enough? Do I have the power to have ice in my stomach when do I have the power to have ice in my stomach when the money's not coming in? You see, it's all about allowing the flow to go through you so that you can become part of the flow. When you become part of the flow, when you help people, they help you back, and you continue. So I literally had to learn that the hard way. When I'm suddenly finding myself alone, having to pay all the bills. And I'm telling you, there were a lot of people that said to me, why don't you just sell out, cash out, and then, and I was like, I had a conversation with God, and I said, really? Is that why I came here and I worked so hard to stay here and build my fairy forest and do my Airbnb and most of all, work with my clients, helping them realize their goals. So if I chicken out, what kind of a leader am I? So when the first mortgage was due, didn't have it. Second mortgage, didn't have it. I mean, it went so far as the house was about to be foreclosed on. But you know what? I had faith, and I worked hard, and I turned it all around. So I promise you, on any given time when you're being tested, if you take up the challenge, you grow. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to see Sandy, I'm going to see Susan. Okay, let me see what you're going through, Susan. Because I can get off into this tangent and start talking about things that are amazing, but if you're coming here for a reading, you might be coming for a little information as well. But if you're coming for a reading, I'm going to have to give you that, right? I'm helping you, and then you're helping me by coming and coming with your beautiful energy. Okay. So, Susan, on some level, you're going with the flow. I'm going to see what else. You are going with the flow. You are chilling, easy. You are, if you're not doing it, that's what they're telling you to do. If you're not doing it, but I'm going to give you one more card. I'm going to see what else. I'm going to see what else they're telling me. Because I feel you're coming up to a decision you're going to have to make. You're coming up to a kind of a decision you're going to have to make. And you got to go into your heart when you make these decisions. And this decision, it's okay. So either someone is trying to control you, and you have to get out as a control card. It could be you wanting to control or somebody trying to control you. Because on some level, I feel that when you go with the flow, you have like things start happening, doors start opening, you start getting success in the direction you want. But the control, I'm wondering, is it your mind? Does your mind sometimes come in and mess it up for you? Because if you just go with the flow, which I have learned so many times, if I get nervous and try to control everything, I push away. I push away the good stuff. If I allow, you see, we sometimes have to allow to accept goodness in our lives, right? We sometimes have to allow, and let me tell you, there are a lot of times where I myself go and like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to allow. And so I'm taking one more card for you, Susan, and it's about isolation. You're coming out of isolation. So what I see here is you've had some issue that you have been going through, and you're coming out of that issue. Don't let your mind, keep yourself safe, yes, but don't let your mind take over, and let yourself continue going with the flow. That is what I'm getting, right? Let's see here. Okay, you keep coming to this brick wall, Susan. And when I'm checking in with you, I'm feeling that it's about your empowerment. It's about your self-empowerment. There's a part of you that might doubt that you have what it takes to break through that because of an old programming that you've had. And it sounds crazy when I say old programming. We're all in programs. Each one of our families has a program we live after, a set of rules, a set of ways of being, right? And I'm feeling you, Susan. I'm feeling you in your heart. I'm feeling you in your solar plexus, and they're blocked right now. There's a lot of things coming up to the surface. I'm at the moon, but there's got to be more than that. Okay, so there's things coming up to the surface that need to be cleared, and that's another thing, because I feel that you are, yes, you're literally, and so instead of passing and going through that brick wall, you stop, and then the doubt comes in, and like, well, maybe not, maybe I shouldn't go this way. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't go this way, but this is something where, and I'm saying, if you like to go into detail, we can do that a little bit later, just send me a direct message. But what I'm just going to say, which doesn't hurt anyone here by saying it, there's an incident coming up from your childhood where you weren't allowed to speak your voice, getting that, right? And where your power was taken away from you. Guess what? Almost all of us have had that incident going. Not exactly the same way as you, but on some level. And sometimes we don't even know what it is, because some of us have not gone through really big trauma, but we still have something that keeps us back, keeps us afraid of failure and afraid of success. It's like people are like, really? Why would I be afraid of success? Why would I be afraid of failure? Because there has been a time where our voice was not heard. We were not allowed to express ourselves, or we were stopped in our tracks for some reason, and I can really feel it in your throat. But I would say that for you, I do online sessions where I go in to the core of whatever it is. I do it in person as well. So I go in with, I bring you down in a very deep relaxation. We go in and we find the core. We go back in time. We find the core of the issue. We pull it out. So physically, mentally, emotionally, you clear. And once you clear, then you can allow. For the good stuff to come through. I'm about to say good as prana to come through. That is Ralph Smart's. But I'm feeling it in your throat, my dear. It's okay. Now, that's one thing. Let's go in and see what the cards have a little bit, the other cards have for us. And I have a book that I've been reading. It's called Reflections of a Man. We all women could use that sometimes. I'm going to read a passage from there because I feel it's very important to understand. I feel many of us women are we're kind of in a space where we are not always, or we are not always true to our hearts. We would rather fix something instead of listening to our inner selves. We have hope. In this planet right now, there's a lot of hope going on. But I feel that we need to go deeper than hope. I feel that as a planetary being, we need to go much, much deeper than hope. We need to go into something called truth. There you go. What is our truth? What is our truth? Going back to being sovereign. If any one of us would understand that when we connect with our inner being, that is our truth. That is also our sovereignty. When we do that, nothing outside of us should or could be able to change that for us. Nothing. Now, I know some of you have gone through very, very difficult times, and your power was taken away from you. But to bring it back is the key. So we're going to do that today. I'm just going to take one more card. Balance. Yes, we do need balance. Balance. 11. That's a major card. Let me... the Isis Oracle. We're going to go in and say Isis. We're going to go into Isis. I'm going to see what she has to say to us. Females and males. It's okay. It doesn't matter. Because each one of us has the female and the male within us anyway. But Isis is one of these very, very powerful beings, feminine energy that has come into the planet. She's been here for a long time, but she came very, very strongly in 2012. And sometimes we need her guidance. Sometimes we need her guidance to see what we can do to strengthen ourselves. Let's see what she's coming forth. Divine Sisterhood, community of spiritual sisters and brothers of the light. Let's see here what that is to mean. Under D, I'm so glad it says Divine Sisterhood. Let me just show you one more time. It's so beautiful. In community that is based in equality, respect, healthy boundaries, and personal freedom, with a mutual desire for spiritual growth and honoring of innate wisdom, great miracles occur. You are part of this community of light, and at one time it existed only in the spiritual worlds, yet now it is being born on earth. It is part of your destiny to help create and nurture a conscious community that empowers all of its members and is based in truth. Oh my God. Did we just have truth as one of our cards? And hope? Wow, that is so cool. Okay. Letting the divine feminine nourish you now into new relationships, collaborations, community, and friendships is very wise. There are many souls with whom you have spiritual contracts decided upon before you were born, who wish to help you and whom you can help too, as you grow together in peace and light and wisdom. Your light has value of its own, of course, but it is also of deep service when it is visible to others, lighting the way, right? You're guided to allow the beloved Isis to help you now through community. There can be strength in numbers. Community can help you gain the added power of group effort to rise above the old patterns and lift each other into new patterns that are so much more real and beautiful. In unity with the divine in each other, we grow and we become capable of such wonders. Mother Isis says that there is so much light awakening within our planet, and so much spiritual light gifted to Earth from celestial beings at this time, that it makes sense to build a large enough container to receive it. Groups that are willing to learn to connect at heart level, honoring each other as divine beings, can become capable of calling in and receiving tremendous forces of light in service to humanity and the Earth. If you had enough electricity to power a city, you wouldn't try to fit it in one house. Likewise, with all this spiritual electricity becoming available on Earth, groups are needed to help it to circulate and flow. You are wise and grounded enough within yourself not to lose yourself in a group, and instead help the group become a community of honoring individuals. Your leadership by example is important, as groups can sometimes descend to the lowest energetic vibration if the members fall into their egos, rather than staying in their hearts. Whoa. Yet, if the members can stay in their hearts, the group can lift each other up rather than pull each other down. Whew, I'm feeling the hearts of some of you guys. I'm clearing it too, right? The oracle of the divine sisterhood is based on the love between the goddesses of ancient Egypt, Hathor, Isis, Bastet, and Sekhmet, and more. They are often pictured with similar symbols and headdresses and share some iconography that helps us realize that although they are divine individual beings, they are connected as unique expressions of something greater. Each one of us is a divine being, okay? So we are all one, right? But I'm going to do a prayer. And it can be it can be said by itself. So I just want you to breathe in. I feel your hearts, my dear. I feel your hearts. I feel you guys. Beloved Isis, please help me find my beloved brothers and sisters of unconditional love on the inner planes. And in this world of forms, guide me to healthy community that helps me grow with unconditional love, where I can find my rightful place and be my true inner self. Thank you. May I have the courage, wisdom, and openness of heart to trust your guidance and act upon it. Of my own free will, so be it. Now, when we do this, I just want you to know that in the community that I'm in, there are a lot of people that have very, very big egos. And it is not my place or anybody else's place to say that. But if you are driven by hurt, by lack, by lower vibrations, by jealousy, then you need to step back and look at it. You need to look at it and say, okay, what is the insecurity here? What do we need to clear? Right? And I would like to finish off, unless before we do that, I would like to also talk about the Reflections of a Man by Mr. Amari's Soul. ladies. So some of you are probably in or out of relationships, working with, trying to make things work that, from your perspective, are supposed to, there's so much love, there's so much beauty with it. And sometimes there is, but sometimes, ready or not, sometimes they are not ready. And I like to read something here. My dear beloved, beautiful, strong women, do not accept any man as your man until he shows you that he's ready to accept all the responsibilities that come with that position. Sometimes, and I see this between a lot of the people that I work with, women will put their men on pedestals to make them feel good about themselves. And then the man feels, that's comfortable. I don't need to do anything. I got this, and then I got everything else too. And so, this book, it's really, this book has really opened up my eyes to a lot of things. It's called Reflections of a Man, Mr. Amari Soul. And it has a lot of small quotes about when you're in relationships or you're about to go into relationships, how we need to look at it with clear eyes. The same thing with a relationship in a job, for example. How we need to look at it with clear eyes. What is the truth? What is the intention? How does it make you feel? Like, for example, getting a job. Does it make you feel good to go to this job? If it doesn't, you got to start questioning, am I in the right place? Or is this right for me? Right? And if it's not, then you got to pull back and really feel, what is right for me? What is the right direction to go? And it is always an interpretation, right? Sometimes you can think, but I think it's this and this and that. And this job is going to be wonderful. I know many of you have started jobs and you thought, this is going to be a wonderful job. And then you get there and you're like, but this and this and this and this is not great. Now, I always say that when you're at a crossroads, you know it because you feel it. You go to work, you're like, I don't like it. Or you're in a relationship, like, I don't like what's going on here. I do not like what's going on here. You have to make you always have a choice. You have to make the choice. Do I stay? Because if the intention is a win-win for both of you, for you in your relationship, for you with your work, if the intention is a win-win for both, well, then there's a reason to stay, right? But if it's not a give and take, if it's only a one way, you are like at a job, you're giving and giving and giving and giving, and you're totally finished when you're finished with the job, and you're not getting the equal payment back, then you know that it's time to look for something else, right? Same thing here in a relationship. If you're giving and giving and giving and giving, and you're not getting back, or you're getting partial back, then you have to make the choice. What is the choice? You're going to stay in something that might not be right, even though you thought it was, but it might not be. And there's nothing wrong with that, because we all are here to kind of experience life. And when we're experiencing life, we have to open up to what do I want to experience? Do I want to have bliss? Do I want to have love? Do I want to have flow? Do I want to be in the flow? Yes. And if I'm in the flow, then not only do we flow, but we affect all the people around you. When we're not in the flow, then you see life coming at you with different things. You're like, oh no, this is not good, right? So with that, I would like to say to you today, I will come back. I don't have a specific timing when I do, but when I feel that the energies like they are right now are a little bit tough, I feel that I have to come in and help you guys navigate this world that we're jumping into. We're jumping into the golden age, right? We're jumping into bliss. We're jumping into love. But when we open our hearts, sometimes old stuff comes up and we have to deal with it. And so I have the tools to deal with it, so I can help you guys. I do a lot of that. So on my, yes, yes, thank you. And so I just want you to know that you guys, just by you following and coming in on this, raise your frequency. And if you can, if you are on YouTube and you see this one on YouTube, please just like and share, like and subscribe. Here you can just share. If you think the messages that are coming from here are good, then please share. I love you guys, and have a great Saturday wherever you are in the world. Peace.